that is where we are starting off. They need a wide receiver. They need an edge. They need offensive linemen. They have 2 picks in the first round after trading Davante Adams. And you know what? I'll start off all of this then and maybe redeem myself and say that the Green Bay Packers need to go after Treylon Burks, the wide receiver from Arkansas. This man is, I don't want to say he's a stud because I feel like the studs are Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jameson Williams, but he's right on the outside of that in my opinion. I think this man is an absolutely phenomenal talent. I heard the comparison earlier today. He's got a Anquan Bolden meets Deebo Samuel type wide receiver. He runs hard. He goes up and gets balls. 3rd most receiving yards in press coverage last season in the NFL or in the SEC. This man, I know what people are going to say. When you hear Treylon Burks, you think, oh, he didn't run very well in the combine. Well, guess what? He maxed out last year. His fastest ran play, 22 miles an hour. The fastest play in the NFL last season went for 21 miles an hour from Jonathan Taylor. This man is an absolute beast down the field. He'd fit well with Aaron Rodgers. And one last little note here. Adam Stenovich, the offensive coordinator from the Green Bay Packers, came out and said, I think for the most part, we're looking for the pieces that are going to allow us to run the offense that we want to run. Treylon Burks is that guy. He's going to be able to go downfield. He can also get your slants that Davante Adams perfectly ran. Obviously, he's not going to come in and replace Davante Adams because he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. But Treylon Burks is a perfect start to give Aaron Rodgers his new weapon.
I like Burks a lot. I think he's rawer than some of those guys you mentioned, those top 4 guys or top 3 or 4 guys. But you talked about the possession wide receiver. He does remind me a little bit of Davante Adams because he's a guy that's bigger. He has a big frame. The difference here, I think, is going to be his technique and can he run routes? Because I think sometimes he just looks at himself. He says, I'm 6'2", I'm 225. I don't need to run sharp routes. But he does. He can go up and win the 50-50 ball. I liked him to like an Alshon Jeffrey type. That and again, a guy that could go up and win. And Alshon Jeffrey was a very, very good receiver in the NFL. He just couldn't stay healthy for most of his career. Not saying that Treylon Burks is that, the injury prone, but I like him to that kind of receiver. If Green Bay is going to go get a wide receiver in the first round, I think it's going to have to be a difference maker. I think Treylon Burks can be that.
I don't, especially for where Green Bay's picking. You have the 22nd pick and the 28th pick. I think that's the prime range. I know I talked to you guys about this the other day. I'm like, I don't know who is the prime target to fall in here. And really, this draft can go either way for these wide receivers. We'll be ranking these wide receivers on Friday's show, letting you guys know the top 10 receivers in this draft. Aaron, who do you have as a must-have player for the Green Bay Packers?
I thought about going the first round, but I felt like you guys were going to attack that already with wide receivers in round 1. I went round 2, but I'm not going away from the offensive side of the football. I like a tight end here. I know they got their tight end back from last year who tore his knee, but I like Trey McBride from Colorado State. Trey McBride is this, I don't want to say George Kittle, but he has some of the attributes that a George Kittle has. He's really physical. He has good size. He's athletic. He's a polished route runner. He has good hands. He is a willing blocker, but he's not the best blocker in the world. But he's willing to get in there and mix it up a little bit. And then he has some problems after running after the catch. But look, you can see right there, he has the ability to get it done. My NFL comp right now is Hunter Henry. I think he can come in, be in that second round guy and come in and be effective. And when you get Aaron Rodgers' trust, and I think a guy like this, he's a Mackey Award winner. You can earn that trust from a veteran quarterback. And if he trusts you, he will go to you. Aaron Rodgers has proven that time and time again. So this is a highly productive guy, 90 catches, 1,100 yards. He made first team all Mountain West. This is a guy that's going to come in and contribute. And I think second round is perfect spot for him.
I loved both of those picks. I know this is from back in the day, but I hope we're still allowed to pull the curtain back a little bit. I got my pick in last on our show, Doc, and I love a wide receiver here. I finally think they will, and I think there's a lot of guys in the first round that can do that. I saw both you guys went with pass catchers, so I'm not going to do that. I went somewhere a little different. I went to the third round, pick 92, and another thing we know they need help with is the offensive line, and a lot of people have been talking about this guy, Dr. Cole Strange, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Cole Strange is a big guard. Great hands. This is funny. Like, one of the things that he does best is he gets off the line really quickly. And I say that's funny because that's what you talk about when the defense is coming at you. But he's able to be quicker and beat these guys to the push and allows him to get his hands and create leverage immediately at the point of attack. He's one of those guys that know how to push forward. The issue with him is I think he needs a little bit more power. I think he needs to bulk up. I think his frame needs to get a little bit bigger, and that's going to help him on the next level. But right now, he may have an issue handling some of the bigger guys on the defensive side of the ball in the NFL. But he can play guard, he can play center. I think a lot of people really like him at the center spot because it allows him to get off the ball very quick, and that's where he succeeds the most. So, if you can get these pass catchers in the first 2 rounds and then go ahead and bulk up your line to give Aaron Rodgers some more time, this is it's going to be a very scary year for the Green Bay Packers. Could be looking at another 13-4.
Had to throw in that extra game.
I had
finding B-roll for him was very hard, by the way. Mr. Chattanooga, Tennessee at Chattanooga. You said what?
Did you do those circles in that B-roll? Was that you?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I was like, that looks like something that was not in the actual videos. So bravo.
I did that.
Bravo.
I actually have a better way to do it. Yeah, I've been doing it. I actually have a better way of doing it, but it takes a lot of time to have it pause, and it's a lot of work. So I have only been doing. So I stopped tracking it. Tracking is a lot, but I have my ways. But when you don't have a lot of time, you just flash it while they're still. When the play hasn't started yet, and then you just take it off. So, but yes, I like the pick. I don't know if he makes it to round 3. I actually think late second round, he might fall off the board. He's from a smaller school, so a lot of people don't really, he doesn't have that cachet that some of the guys have. But I really, really like him. I'm going to call him Dr. Strange. That's my nickname for him. Dr. Strange, put him in there. He has really good IQ. He needs some work, like you said, an upright. He's kind of upright and plays in pass protection and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he won the best offensive lineman in that conference, and he can play.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. Now, I want to make a comparison here real quick to something, and we brought up on Monday's show, and we'll roll through this. Simple question. Talked about how the Chiefs did not need to get a wide receiver, and it wasn't like a big-time priority. The Green Bay Packers are much different in this situation. They have to get a wide receiver round 1. Like that, there is nothing else to it. And there might not be a better response from the YouTube critics than us saying that the Packers need to go wide receiver in round 1. Now, do they go 2?
I was gonna say, I'm telling you right now, I would not be opposed to the Green Bay Packers taking 2 wide receivers in round 1. If you can get a Treylon Burks and a Christian Watson. And I know Watson, there's a lot of people that are split on him. Some people have him going in the second, third round. Some people have him all the way in the first round in the mid-teens. We might talk about him in a little bit. But if you can go get 2 guys, I'm not opposed to it, man. You have to do everything you can to load up for Aaron Rodgers. That team is pretty solid everywhere else. You have to go get him some weapons.
Yep.
Alan Lazard, his best guy, Randall Cobb, but let's be honest. And then Jawan Winfrey and Vinny's guy, Amari Rodgers.
Hey.
You got to get yourself.
They weren't inspired. They weren't inspired with what Amari Rodgers did last year. And I think he actually does take that Randall Cobb role eventually if he can get right. But yeah, they need some help.
I also like Chris Olave here, but like I said, I didn't want us to all just do pass catches. I wanted to mess them up, but I like.
We had this conversation. Go ahead and bring it up, Vinny. Go ahead and say what you were going to say about Chris Olave. That you do not feel like Chris Olave can drop this far. You told me that yesterday, right?
I don't think he.
I disagree.
I have a hard time. I think 3 wide receivers go in the top 20. So I
don't disagree with that.
I think
London,
I'm not crazy about Drake London. We're going to talk about it on Friday's show when we rank the wide receivers. But my top 3 wide receivers right now are Jamison Williams, Chris Olave, and Garrett Wilson. Like those are my top 3.
Everybody loves Chris Olave. I'm so suspect about Chris Olave. I've seen the Ohio State receiver like Chris Olave in the league, and I don't love it. And I'm not saying he's the same, but there's something off. Something's off.
Scout the player, not the jersey.
If the rest of the NFL
Chris
teams
Olave
think
could
that,
be the change.
If the rest of the NFL teams think that and he falls to the Green Bay Packers at 22 or 28, scoop him up right there, run away with the bag, and take it all the way home to Green Bay so Aaron Rodgers can have a new wide receiver 1.